being a young entrepreneur, when I started my skincare line, I was like this is really cool. Like I like entrepreneurship, but then at the same time, I had like these environmental values. Like I was interested in gardening. I started a garden at my school, my former high school, and I was like, how can I combine these two things? Like they seem like they're in two separate worlds, or you never think that capitalism can go with the environment. They're always like in conflict with one another. But I wanted to make something work where we could kind of, in our neoliberal world, how can we balance this? You know, how can we
Mm-hmm.
balance sustainability and profit making?
Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that we like as young people, we're trying to uh, get started as soon as possible because time is running out a little bit. We're
Yeah.
I think the UN said like we got like 10 years to drastically change things.
Hmm.
So and I think business and innovation is a great way. Um, yeah, like innovation is a great way to really jumpstart that the passion for that.
Hmm.
And like, do you notice a difference in not just trying to get into like ageism, but like, do you notice a difference in between like the young people who are environmentalists and the people who are, I guess, more mature and experienced in environmental causes? Like, what are some differences that you have noted?
Sometimes I've noted, even with myself, I feel super intimidated when I'm in a group of people and like I'm the youngest one there. But at the same time, I see it as an advantage and I try not to let that stop me. Because like I've been to many conferences where people have just been giving out their business cards and then they just completely skip me. They're like, they don't think I'm worth it because I'm too young, right? And I'm just like, what? But I mean, I try to use that as like a motivator. Like, I'm young. Like these people have probably like their own careers, but I'm still getting started and I can learn from them, right? So I try to see it as an advantage and I try not to let it like interfere with how I feel. Although I do feel intimidated, but I see it as a learning opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, like you are actually currently at this point, you are the youngest podcast interview guest that I've had
Yay!
yet so far. I'm guessing you are like just around 20 or 19, something
Yeah,
like
I'm
that, right?
19, 19.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm turning 24 soon, and so like the
Really?
youngest. Yeah.
Oh, I did not
Did
know
you
that. Okay.
did you think I was younger or older? I don't know.
Younger. I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
why. Yeah.
You thought I was your age?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, it's just like I often will go to, I'll often go to these networking events or something like that, and I'm often someone who's youngest by a margin of like 10 to 15 years, and it just can feel kind of awkward, right? But I think it's sometimes a little bit of that, even just fake it till you make it attitude of just like being confident and then acting as if you deserve their attention, and then yeah, like that's kind of my advice to anyone who wants to like who's very young and wants to be in a place where there's a lot more older people and they feel kind of out of place. What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's young and wants to get started in a world that's maybe they're youngest by a margin of 10 to 15 years?
I would say don't be afraid. Really like get out there. Like you said, you've been to networking events. When I was like, I think 17 or so, like I was just like wrapping up my high school year. I remember going to this 3-day conference. I had to miss school, but I got to speak to so many different people and I got to learn different things. And even though I did feel intimidated, I feel like it was such a great learning experience. And people kind of changed the way I thought about things. Like, for example, someone was saying how, there's so many founders or people trying to start their own initiatives, but they actually don't realize that it's kind of better to be working with other people since you might just be creating too much waste if you're starting up your own thing and not collaborating with others, if that makes sense. But I was just like, wow, that's so cool. I never thought about that, but it's a true thing.